The first sentence really kind of touches everything in motion. It is this: aliens suck at music. And it's not for a lack of trying. They've been at it for eons, but have yet to produce even a faintly decent tune. If they had, we would have detected them ages ago. We've been scanning the skies for signs of intelligent life for generations, after all, and we've actually picked up thousands of alien anthems, slow dances, and ballads. But the music's so awful that it's always mistaken for the death rattle of a distant star. It's seriously that bad. Or more accurately, we're that good. In fact, humanity creates the universe's best music by far. We owe this to a freakish set of lucky breaks. For instance, the combined gravitational pulls of the various bodies in our solar system tug the fluids of our inner ears in just the right way to give us an exquisite sense of rhythm. Certain deeply bewitching tonal patterns are meanwhile wired right into our brain stems because they map to the sounds that our distant ancestors' ancient prey once made. These two and several other long-shot rarities combine to give us musical superpowers that no other civilization can match. Now, Carolyn Schlater, who just walked in, I just need to give you a shout out. So that explanation of why we make the world's best music, this woman is directly responsible for, because I was about a quarter of the way through writing this book, and I was at a party and talking to people about it, and Carolyn's like, well, then why is ours so good? And I'm like, well, I guess I need to explain that. So it's now in the second paragraph of the book, and that's pretty much all that I say about it, but thank you, Carolyn. Back to stuff that I came up with, okay? The irony is that in every other artistic form that matters to the rest of the cosmos, we're the dullards. In sculpture, fashion, and synchronized swimming, we rank in the bottom percentile universe-wide. Decoupage and pyrotechnics aren't even considered to be high expressive forms here, grotesquely stunting our development in those fields. And while we did manage to get off to a decent start in stained glass, we lost all interest in it just a century before LEDs and nanopigments would have taken it to radical new levels. Meanwhile, the plays, dramatic series, and films we make are in the so bad it's good category, with our crowning achievements providing ironic late-night amusement to smirking hipsters on countless planets. All of this is according to the standards of the Refined League, an obnoxiously brilliant and peaceful confederation of alien societies that spans the universe. Humanity first drew attention to itself back when the Pioneer 10 probe crossed a certain threshold out beyond the orbit of Jupiter. When a planet lobs something that far into space, it tends to mean that intelligence has arisen on it. And so the Refined League's equivalent of an admissions office decided to check in to see if we had any artistic potential, as well as to see if we planned to keep throwing crap into space, because at some point we might hit something. A scouting craft soon entered our solar system. It detected several broadcast signals and routed the strongest one to a distant team of anthropologists who found themselves watching a first-run episode of the hit sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter. Now, before I get into what happened next, I should mention that music is the most cherished of the 40 so-called noble arts that refined beings revere and dedicate their lives to. It's indeed viewed as being many times nobler than the other 39 arts combined. And remember, this is important, their music sucks. So, the first Alien Cotter Watchers initially doubted that we had music at all because everything about the show screamed that we were cultural and aesthetic dunderheads. Primitive sight gags made them groan. Sloppy editing made them chuckle. Wardrobe choices practically made them retch. And then it happened. The show ended, the credits rolled, and the theme music began. And suddenly, the brainless brutes that they'd been pitying were beaming out the greatest creative achievement that the wider universe had ever witnessed. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. On Earth, these lyrics were a humble cue to hit the bathroom before What's Happening came on. But everywhere else, they were the core of an opus so sublime that the Refined League reset its calendars to start counting time from the moment it was first detected. Countless refined beings perished before the new era was even a minute old. The delight triggered by the Cotter song released so much endorphin-like goo in their brains that they hemorrhaged, bringing on immediate ecstatic death. Others died from neglecting sleep, meals, or bathroom breaks, as they obsessively replayed the Cotter theme over the ensuing weeks. Everyone was so stunned that it was months before they thought to scan our TV spectrum more deeply. Once they did, more waves of rhapsodic joy swept the cosmos. Happy Days, Sanford and Son. Every new theme song added to the ecstasy and to the casualties. Soon they discovered the top 40 stations of the AM spectrum. They started listening to Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees, Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks, and the immortal Boogie, Oogie, Oogie by A Taste of Honey. More rhapsodic joy, more hemorrhaging brains. Don't worry, we're getting to the end. But with every deadly new discovery, the survivors got a bit hardier. Cotter was like an inoculation that toughened everybody up for Olivia Newton-John, who in turn prepared the cosmos for Billy Joel. So as the music got marginally less awful, the mortality rate paradoxically dropped. The last big die-off occurred when WPLJ broadcast both sides of Led Zeppelin 4. And anyone who survived that had what it took to safely listen to even the most stellar rock and roll. Decades later, the exaltation inspired by our works had barely diminished, but the universe had ignored its inboxes, errands, and to-do lists for decades. And so everyone reluctantly started returning to business. Politicians started governing again. Accountants started accounting again. Most significantly, alien anthropologists began studying other aspects of human society. And that's when it hit them. They owed us an ungodly amount of money. So that is how it starts. Thank you.